Hey guys, welcome to story time. Do you remember how last time we had a story last week about the Wemmicks, those wooden people, and there was Punchinello, and he met that girl Lucia, and she was a very special Wemmick because all the other Wemmicks, all the other wooden people, would have stickers that would stick on them, either a gray dot or a bright star. And they would go around and they'd give each other stickers, and they'd say, "Oh, you are not very good at jumping over the box, so we're going to give you a gray dot." Or they might say, "Wow, you did a really good job singing that song. You're going to get a star." And they would give each other stickers to say good or bad. And they spent all their time giving each other stickers, but Lucia did not let her stickers stick on her. When someone would give a sticker on her, it just would fall off. Because she said, "You know what? It doesn't matter what the other Wemmicks are saying. It matters what my creator, Eli, the woodcarver, it matters what he thinks about me. He is what's most important. And he created me, and he is, and his opinion matters, and he's my creator." And so Punchinello learned from Lucia, and he went to go see Eli the woodcarver too. And then when he talked to Eli, he realized, wow, I shouldn't let these stickers stick either, because I should be more worried about what Eli is thinking and not what all the other Wemmicks are thinking and giving me stickers, and it doesn't matter. And so this is the next story in the series. It's not called You Are Special. This one's called You Are Mine. So the first one's called You Are Special. And it starts the series. And this one is the next one called You Are Mine. And there's Punchinello. And there's Eli the woodcarver. And it looks like he's holding a couple things in his hands. I wonder what that's all about. Let's find out. Punchinello lived in Wemmicksville, just like all the other Wemmicks, and he was made of wood that had been carved by Eli, the Wemmick maker. And sometimes the Wemmicks did silly things, like the time they collected boxes and balls. Things started to get crazy when a Wemmick named Tuck bought a new box. Others had boxes, but Tuck's was new. He loved his new box. It was brightly colored, and he was proud of it. He strutted up and down the street showing off his box. "Have you seen my new box?" he would ask. Asked the Wemmicks as he passed. "Would you like to touch it?" Oh, he's showing off his new box. It sounds a little bit like he's bragging. "Look at my new box, everybody." Kind of bragging, isn't it? When you brag and you say, "Look at what I have," and you don't have it, it doesn't make the other person feel very good. Let's see what happens next. Tuck found Punchinello. "Don't you wish you had my new box like mine?" he teased. Punchinello thought Tuck's box was beautiful, and he wished for a box of his own. Soon Tuck began to think he was better than other Wemmicks because of his new box. Nip disagreed. "My box is as good as Tuck's," he said, showing off his box on the other side of the street. Tuck gave Nip a mad look, and then he had an idea. He stepped into the store and bought a ball, and now he had more things than Nip, a box and a ball. Here's Tuck and here's Punchinello when he wanted to show Punchinello his box. So now they've started like a contest. "I've got a box and a ball." Oh, brother, can't you just be happy with what you have and not worry about what other people have? Well, Nip frowned at Tuck's ball and bought 2 balls. And then he boasted to Tuck, "I have more than you." And before he knew it, Tuck was buying another box. And then Nip bought another ball. And then Tuck bought another ball. And Nip bought another box. Box, ball, box, Tip, Tuck, Nip. And on it went. The mayor tried to stop the whole mess. "You two are being silly," he said to Nip and Tuck. "Why, who cares who has the most toys anyway?" "You're just jealous," they replied, "because you don't have any." "Jealous of you? Nah!" But soon the mayor was in the store buying boxes and balls too. Even the mayor of the town is going to start buying boxes and balls? Oh my goodness, this is silly. Other Wemmicks began to join in too. The baker, the butcher, the doctor, the dentist, and before long, everyone wanted the most balls and boxes. Some boxes were big, some boxes were bright, some balls were heavy, some were light. Tall people carried them, small people carried them, everybody carried them, and everybody thought, good Wemmicks have a lot. Not good Wemmicks, they only have a little. When the Wemmicks walked down the street with a stack of balls and boxes higher than his head, people stopped and said, "Oh, now there goes a good Wemmick." But when a Wemmick passed by with only one ball or box, the others would whisper, "Oh, he's just a poor, poor little Wemmick." You think it really matters if you have lots and lots of stuff or just a little bit? Do you think that makes you better if you have more? Nope. Of course, Punchinello didn't want to be called a poor Wemmick. He searched through his closet and he found one little ball, and he dug in his pocket and found enough money for one small box. "I know what I'll do," he declared. "I'll sell my books to give me money to buy more boxes and balls." So he bought a little blue and green box with clouds painted on the side. But still he wanted more. He worked nights for extra money, and he bought a ball. And since he was working nights, he didn't need his bed, so he sold it and bought 2 more balls. Soon Punchinello had an armful of boxes and balls, but other Wemmicks still had more. He sold all his books. Don't sell your books, Punchinello. Books are so awesome. Books are like one of the best things you could have. I love books. Well, some of them carried so many boxes and balls that they had trouble walking. Punchinello wanted to be like these Wemmicks, so he sold more stuff and he worked more hours, and his eyes were getting tired from not enough sleep, and his arms were getting tired from carrying all his toys. And worst of all, his friends couldn't remember when Punchinello last came to play. Lucia, oh, there's Lucia again, guys. Lucia said, "We haven't seen you lately." Splint said, "Why don't you come and play?" Not everyone cared about boxes and balls. Punchinello's friends didn't, but Punchinello told his friends, "I've got work to do." His friends sighed, but Punchinello only cared what the other box and ball people thought. So he got a new idea. "I'll sell my house," he said. Punchinello, "That's crazy," said Lucia. "You have to have your house. Where will you live?" asked Splint. Oh, it looks like he's going to live right under the boxes and balls. Oh my goodness, Punchinello, what are you thinking? Sorry guys, I'm trying to hold on to this book. There we go. But all Punchinello could think about was more toys that he could buy with all that money. So he sold his house. Oh boy. He bought boxes and boxes and balls and more balls, and he carried them so many toys he couldn't even see where he was going. His stack went way above his head. But he didn't mind. So what if his arms ached? So what if he kept walking into walls? So what if he had no friends? He had boxes and balls. And when he passed Wemmicks, they would turn and say, "Wow, he must be a good Wemmick." Punchinello felt great. "I'm a good Wemmick," he thought. I don't know. What do you think Eli thinks about all this? But the mayor's wife changed the rules. She was very proud of her boxes and balls. She not only had a lot, but she also had special kinds. She bought them at the fanciest stores with funny names and left the names on the boxes so everyone would see them. She wanted to be the best Wemmick, and one day she had an idea. Not only will I have the most, but I will also go the highest, she said. So she climbed on top of one of her boxes and shouted, "Now look at me, everybody!" And immediately all of the box and ball people tried to outdo her. One climbed on a fountain, another climbed on a balcony, and then another climbed on the roof, and it was the mayor who spotted the mountain. These guys. Behind the village stood Wemmick's Peak. "I'm going to the top of the mountain," the mayor shouted, and the race was on. Oh man, the Wemmicks, loaded with boxes and balls, began running up the mountain. It was a crazy race. Since people couldn't see where they were going, they bumped into each other, and exhausted, they fell over on their feet, and some fell off the trail, but the rest kept going. Bringing up the rear was Punchinello. After all, he'd only been a good Wemmick for a short time, and he wasn't used to carrying so much. But since he couldn't see, he didn't know that he had left the trail, and suddenly he was all alone. "Oh, I'm ahead of all the others," he thought. "I'll be the highest with the most." Look at these guys. It's just so silly, isn't it? And yet people can do the same thing. About that time, Punchinello's foot caught the edge of the porch step. He tried to keep his balance, but the toy swayed to the right and then to the left, and he leaned back and then forward, and then he tumbled right through the door of Eli's workshop. When Punchinello realized where he was embarrassed. For a long time, he'd stayed face down on the floor. One of the balls rolled across the floor to Eli's workbench, and the woodcarver turned around. "Punchinello?" Eli's voice was calm and kind. The Wemmick could feel his face turn red. "Looks like you've been carrying a big load." Punchinello rose to his knees, his head low. These are my boxes and balls," he said quietly. "Do you play with those boxes and balls?" asked Eli. Punchinello shook his head. "Do you like the boxes and balls?" "I like the way they make me feel." "And how do the boxes and balls make you feel?" "Important," Punchinello answered, still with a small voice. So you've been thinking like the other Wemmicks, that the more you have, the better you are, and the happier you'll be." "I suppose so." "Come here, Punchinello. I want to show you something." Eli'll get him straightened out. Punchinello looked up at Eli for the first time. He was glad that the Wemmick maker wasn't mad. Punchinello followed Eli to the window. "Look at them," Eli said. Punchinello saw the Wemmicks climbing the mountain. They were tumbling, stumbling, and fighting each other to get ahead. "Do they look happy?" Eli asked. Punchinello just shook his head. "Do they look important?" "Not at all," Punchinello said, seeing the mayor and his wife. The mayor was on the ground, and she was stepping on his back. She had a box on her head, and he had a ball in his mouth. "Did I create them to act this way?" asked Eli. "No." Punchinello felt a big hand on his shoulder. "Do you know how much those boxes and balls cost you?" "Yeah, they cost me my books and my bed and my money and my house," said Punchinello. "Oh, my little friend, they cost you much more than that. They also cost you your happiness, didn't they?" Punchinello paused. "Yes." "They cost you your friends. And what's worse, you did not trust me to make you happy. You trusted in toys." Punchinello looked at his toys. Suddenly, they didn't seem so valuable. I kinda messed up. That's okay, you're still special. Punchinello ducked his head and smiled. You're special not for what you have, but for who you are. You are mine. Don't ever forget that. That's what makes him special and important. Not what he has, but because God made him. Eli made him. Eli's kind of like God in the story. I won't forget, Punchinello smiled. Eli? Yes? What should I do with these boxes and balls? Perhaps you should give them to someone who needs them. Punchinello turned to leave, but stopped. Eli? Yes? I don't have a place to sleep. Eli smiled and offered, Would you like to sleep here tonight? Oh, I sure would. I'm very tired. And that night, Punchinello slept on a bed of straw. He slept well. It was good to be in the house of his maker. The end. Guys, I hope you remember that what you have doesn't make you special. It's who made you, and God made you, and He made you so special that it doesn't matter if you have more things or someone else has more things. That's not important, guys, because those things are only temporary anyway. What matters is that you belong to Jesus, and He loves you. He made you. That's what's important. Talk to you later, guys.